What's good? It's your boy Fanon. I'm trying to tell you, man, your boy Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua are some wild boys. There was just a rumor came out today that was, and it's a pretty well substantiated rumor. We'll definitely, hold off on the sources for why it's a very well substantiated rumor. But you're just gonna, if you don't believe it, that's fine. Whatever's clever. It's a pretty well substantiated rumor. Definitely check out 78 Sports TV's channel. He's the first guy to break the news for this off some information that he received, and it really does hold up very well. That there has been an offer made by Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn to Deontay Wilder's camp. And I mean, on one hand, it does point to the magnitude of the fight. They're acknowledging the magnitude of the fight, but at the same time, at the same time that they acknowledge the magnitude of the fight, they really try to stick it to Deontay Wilder. And it makes me feel as if even the magnitude of the fight, it's like if they take it, they want to cash out their career on it. And to me, it's just, it's one of those situations where, if Deontay Wilder if this offer is what the offer is and Deontay Wilder takes it, I can understand him taking it. And I could also understand him telling Eddie Hearn to kick rocks. Now, before I go into that, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. We already talked about this subject in an earlier live stream, but more than likely I'll have one later tonight, and we'll cover that one we'll cover it in that topic as well. Because now I've had more time to think about it after I originally heard it, and I definitely want to do it in a live stream. And the best way to know about the live stream is to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of it, because we don't really schedule out what the time of the day of these live streams. Now, let me get into the deal, and I'll try to tell you what it is as plainly as I can, and then put it into some perspective. And at the end of the day, it's going to be for Deontay Wilder to decide whether this is a good deal for him or not. But it just really does shed a lot of light onto Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. And I mean, to me, I hold very little respect for them. Now, here's what the deal is supposed to be. They estimate the fight would generate $100 million. And so they want to offer, assuming it's $100 million, they want to offer what is essentially an 88-12 split in favor of Anthony Joshua. An 88-12 split for Anthony Joshua. So out of $100 million fight, Anthony Joshua would make $88 million, and Deontay Wilder would make $12 million. That's $88 million for Anthony Joshua, $12 million for Deontay Wilder. Now, on the side of it where you'd say, okay, let me look at it and say, why would you accept it? Well, one reason he would accept it is because it's $12 million, right? But it's a flat $12 million. If the fight winds up doing $120 million, right? Then Anthony Joshua makes $108 million off the 120, $108 million off the 120, and Deontay Wilder makes $12 million. That is nowhere near the amount of the percentage that Conor McGregor got for fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr. The percentage of the 88, the flat 12 million. When on the downside, they're anticipating that the fight with US pay-per-view, UK pay-per-view, and the UK gate would be $100 million. If it gets up more, then every penny that's made more is more money in Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua's pocket. Now, why would you do it? Because they say, we know, who else are you going to earn $12 million with? Who else are you going to earn $12 million with? Maybe no one. But the other flip side can be said that too. Who are you going to earn $88 million with, Anthony Joshua? Who are you going to earn $88 million with? Nobody. So just like that would be the biggest payday of Deontay Wilder's, and as a percentage, it would also be probably the biggest percentage of a fight than Anthony Joshua ever got. Because I've not heard of, unless you're talking about some journeyman fights, some journeyman level fights, when he first turned pro, he got 30, what did he get? 34, 56. It was a 34-56 split with Joseph Parker. It was just about a 50-50 split with Vladimir Klitschko. But it's an 88-12 split, take it or leave it, with Deontay Wilder. Where's Anthony Joshua going to get? Who else is Anthony Joshua going to fight to get $88 million? And why shouldn't Deontay Wilder, the more successful the fight is, Deontay Wilder doesn't get anything above what it is no matter what else happens in the fight? And why would the fight be worth $100 million? The fight would be worth $100 million because of US pay-per-view. Because of you getting at a $70 a pop, getting 500. If you do a pay-per-view in the United States of 750,000 people, and it costs us close to $100 for the fight, right? That's an additional $75 million. That's an additional $75 million a US pay-per-view brings to the pie. You know how much they're making in the UK for their pay-per-view and the gates. It's around 50 million. Almost more than half of it, more than as much as 50, but more than half of the revenue for the fight could come from US pay-per-view. But it's an 88-12 split. Flat fee, but it's a flat 12%. That's the deal that Anthony Joshua is mentioning when he said, the same deal we're going to offer Wilder, I would have grabbed it with both my hands. I look at it as it's a flip reverse. I'm an astute businessman, even though I fight. I'm a hustler. You fucking right. You exactly right. You're a hustler. You're a hustler. You're telling a guy that's bringing whose country, who he's more well known in than you, and you can look at those ratings. You're going to tell him that, yeah, I know you're bringing 75, you might bring 50 to $75 million additional revenue to the fight by the virtue of me fighting you. But you don't get any of it. But you only get a portion of what you bring. Let's just think of this. This is $88 million on $100 million. That's $88 million for Anthony Joshua. His whole fight ecosystem for Vladimir Klitschko was $53 million. So he gets everything that the 100% of what the UK is, right? And then you say, okay, what is the US pay-per-view going to bring? If you say the US pay-per-view is $50 million, he gets 30% of the US pay-per-view. Less than 30% of the US pay-per-view. So Anthony Joshua gets 100% of what what the UK brings, and then he wants to take 85% of what the US market brings. In a take it or leave it type of situation, right? Take it or leave it. That's it. We're not negotiating. No, there'll be a rematch clause, but we're not renegotiating the terms in the rematch. If you beat Anthony Joshua, then we do it over again and we get the same split. So say they use the same finances in the second fight, right? Same finances in the second fight, assuming it's $100 million. That means Anthony Joshua pulls in almost $170 million. $174 million, roughly $174 million to Deontay Wilder's 30, when it's the United States pay-per-view that's bringing the vast majority of that money. And it's the interest generated by the fact that Anthony Joshua's fighting Deontay Wilder. So you could say, yeah, for $12 million, I never have made any more than $12 million before in my life, right? Of course, I've never made that, but Anthony Joshua's never made 88 million. But that's the deal. That's just what Anthony Joshua said right there. I'm a hustler. And he sounded, I did a video before. I was like, man, the dude sounds like a used car salesman. And that's exactly what he's coming off for. He's selling it to the press. He's selling this offer that they're going to send him to the press, right? Negotiating it in the press and letting everybody know that he's sending an offer to him. An offer that if you're hungry, and if you're hungry or you're stupid, somebody weighs $12 million in your face and you think $12 million, that is a lot of money, $12 million. That is really hard for me to say no to a big total like $12 million. But you know that you're bringing in for at least 40% of the value because you got US pay-per-view. Anthony Joshua can't do US pay-per-view without Deontay Wilder. Even if you split the US pay-per-view on it and you assume it's not $100, it's not $100, it's $50. That's still $50 million and that's still $50 million being brought to the plate from the US pay-per-view. But that's what they're going to offer him, right? With probably no rematch clause. And I'm assuming that that's not been in the rumor, the no rematch clause. But the no, you're not going to flip it the other way if he loses. So let me tell you what this deal looks like to me. It looks to me like if we lose, we make a ton of money, and it doesn't matter if I ever fight again. And Deontay Wilder, because that's when I'm looking at this deal, I'm like, what are you telling me with this offer? What are you telling me with this offer? You're saying that you want a career high payday times 4. You want $88 million and 12 for me. That's the worst, most lopsided split that you've given anybody. So on a dollar for dollar basis, that's the worst deal that you've ever given anybody. But because it's more, he's going to make them, let us get this right. He's going to pay Vladimir Klitschko, he's going to pay Deontay Wilder less money than Vladimir Klitschko got on a fight that's worth twice as much. Vladimir Klitschko's purse, if I do recall correctly, for the Anthony Joshua Deontay Wilder fight in Wembley Stadium was something around $15 million. So and I think that Anthony Joshua got 15, the other one got 13, but it's right around there. So, and this is in pounds. I'm not sure. I'm just going to talk about it like it's all dollars. So for a fight that's twice as big, Deontay Wilder's getting offered less than Vladimir Klitschko was for a fight that was worth half as much. But I guess they're going to say what? That it's Deontay. If it was just Anthony Joshua that was the only draw to that fight, then how could they assume that it was going to be a $100 million fight? So what I'm saying is they don't want the fight. And they're saying, like, if this dude takes this fight, he's just going to have to give everything up for this. Otherwise, we'll go back to fighting somebody else for $20 million. Right? So they're saying take it or leave it. Either you pay us $88 million. Either you say it's $88 million for us, or we're just going to go on and continue to fight for $20 million. We're going to go fight Alexander Povetkin for $20 million. Come on, man. They don't want the fight. They don't want the fight. And they're saying, well, if the fight has to be made, we're going to make so much money that it doesn't matter if we lose. That's just, hey, man, it is what it is, man. But that just tells you, man, that, yeah, Anthony Joshua, first of all, they know the value of Deontay Wilder, clearly, because they're estimating the fight at $100 million. Number 2, they don't want to make the fight. And if they figure that if they can make the fight, Anthony Joshua would probably rather say, well, I can get that $88 million, over 3 fights, where I don't have to fight anybody that I have a chance to lose to. So, if you're going to beat me, I want 3 fights worth of money. Of my eight fight plan, I want 3 fights worth of money to fight you. And then I want a rematch clause so I do it again and I get another fights, 3 fights worth of money for fighting you. It just shows you where their mentality is, man. It shows you where their mentality is. They don't want to fight. And saying that they're going to offer a deal that if you were in that circumstance you would jump at? Really? Jump at it then. Switch it. If you are just over the moon about that, then take it. Take it. In the fight that you had with Anthony Joshua, you got I don't even know what he's talking about. He fought Vladimir Klitschko. He fought Vladimir Klitschko when it was dang near 50-50 split. You must have been super over the moon about that. You must have been over the sun about that. So anyway, man, these dudes ain't serious about making the fight, man. Or they're just like, hey, man, we're just going to offer a deal that's so ridiculous that they've got to take it. Now, of course, you know that there's confidentiality agreements around all this. So when they make the offer, it's going to say, that we have to have a confidentiality agreement about it. Got to have a confidentiality agreement about it. Actually, you know what I mean? You know what, though? I got to do my man, the champ, a favor. Let me do in the middle of this video, since I know I don't give a jack crap whether you people believe that this is real or not, I'm actually going to take something down that I had up so that we make sure that no confidentiality agreements can be breached. And I'm going to do that for the champ. We're going to make sure that there's no confidentiality agreements being breached. Because I'm telling you that I believe that what this is said is 100% factual. And it is supported by somebody that is very, 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 very close to the circumstance. However, they will never be able to say anything about it. So, boom. I have now deleted the video. It is no longer up. There you go. All right. Now, and I did that in the middle of the video to tell you that this has been confirmed. This offer has been confirmed by sources very close to the situation. But I went on ahead and took the video down so that, you can't go back to you can't go and find where I found it out and who it is exactly said that this offer is a very real deal. But, they can't come out in confidentiality agreements about it. I mean, they're never going to be able to come out and say what the deal actually is because on top of that agreement, they're going to have something which says there's going to be a non-disclosure about it. It's called an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. And no, I don't think there'll be a non-circumvention clause in it, but it's just a basic non-disclosure agreement, which means that basically anybody that they can't tell anything about the contents, the specifics of the offer, which is just going to allow some, Eddie Hearn to say whatever he wants to say about whatever the offer was. But at the end of the day, man, your boy, Anthony Joshua, in order to get in the ring with Deontay Wilder, wants to make sure he can cash his career out. That's my conclusion. If he gets knocked out by Deontay Wilder, it will not matter because he would have made more money fighting Deontay Wilder than he could against anybody else that's out there ×3. And he'd have a rematch clause in there to boot. So that's what your boy Anthony Joshua's on. That's what your boy Anthony Joshua's on. That is some scary, scary nonsense. Say, yeah, we can both eat. I'm sure, yeah, we can eat. You can eat the most though, right? Hustler? You a hustler. Exactly what he is. He's a hustler. Man, look, I don't understand how you cats have any patience for this dude, Eddie Hearn. And I got no patience for Anthony Joshua. If Deontay Wilder wants to accept this offer that was rumored to be dropped, if he wants to accept that, then, hey, man, more power to you, my man. Do what you do. I ain't going to tell you. I don't even know what to make of that. From Deontay Wilder's standpoint, yeah, that's more money than he's ever made. But watch this. 4 months ago, they were offering Dillian White for $4 million. And now, according to these sources, they're now offering $12 million for Anthony Joshua. So that's 4 times more than they were asking for Dillian White. However, it's an 88-12 split. 88-12 split on something that's $100 million. And if it does better than $100 million, there's no upside for Deontay Wilder. And if they fight, if he knocks him out, if he beats him, then the deal repeats itself. You know, I guess he is really gonna test Deontay Wilder's people and say, hey man, you know, what are you willing to do in order to get this fight? Are you willing to get, you know, probably the most lopsided major heavyweight fight ever? I mean, George Foreman and Muhammad Ali was 50-50. $5 million each for George Foreman and Muhammad Ali. Who do you think the big star in that fight was? But you know, it is what it is, man. They don't want the fight though. And if they get the fight, they want to be able to, if they have to take the fight, they want to cash out their career in order to do it. And that just tells you about the confidence they have in the fight. And with that, I'm out. Peace.